What does purpose-driven leadership look like in the interior design world? Our guest today is Blima Ehrentreu. She is a creative visionary and interior design trailblazer with locations in Toronto, my hometown, New York, and Miami. They have a mission of designing with purpose, creating a better world. And today we're going to talk about purposeful business practices, tips for women leaders in the construction industry, and innovative design solutions and social impact initiatives. Lots to cover here with Blima, and I'm really excited to have her here. Welcome to the Leaders of Transformation.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Excited to be here too.
And like I say, a fellow Torontonian. That was really cool. I don't always get to talk to people from my hometown, and I love Toronto. Toronto is an amazing city, especially from a design perspective and building out. And maybe we can talk a little bit about that through this. But I mean, it has been growing so fast. And even like where I used to live, King of Bathurst, I look around now when I'm down there, and it's like totally different. So so you're helping to design that, I'm sure, having some little part in that. So what kind of inspired you to become an interior designer in the first place?
So interesting that you say that you lived at King of Bathurst, because I grew up near Eglinton of Bathurst, so literally a few blocks away. And I believe that when I first started thinking about design was probably when my parents moved us across the street from my childhood home and basically rebuilt our house. So I was able to watch the house getting demolished, foundations getting laid, and then really being able to see the 2D floor plans coming to life. And I was fascinated by that. And that was when I started exploring design and knowing that I really wanted my career to take me into the industry of construction and creating things. I was naturally a creative and artistic person. I love art, so it all seemed to really fit well together. And when I graduated high school, I decided to pursue a degree in interior design and graduated with a master's in interior architecture and design.
So when I was growing up, I thought, hey, maybe I should be an interior designer because I like to reorganize my room. And so here I was, like 6, 7 years old, and I'm moving furniture, I'm moving everything all around. And I thought, oh, maybe one day I'll be an interior designer. And then I realized it's not the design. I don't want to design other people's houses. I just wanted to structure it so that it was efficient. And as I grew up, I realized that gifting was actually the maximizer gift. So it wasn't necessarily about the design of it and how it looked. It was about the efficiency. And thank God I didn't try to become an interior designer, because I wouldn't do it very well. I'd be like, nope, this is what it needs to look like. And everybody's got their own preference and style. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of organizers out there actually that really are incredible at organizing. That's not exactly what we do.
No.
And I personally do not like organizing at all. So I'm always looking for good organizers.
Well, that's what makes us complementary. Like, I don't do the organizing as a business, but it's complementary. Like, if everybody was the same, then how boring it would be if we all had the same preferences. So that's why we need people who have different likes and so forth. So what in the business, and maybe talk about when you launched the designers group. And I think that was not that long ago, right, that you did that. And, during a challenging time, right, even in terms of when you launched your business. Talk about some of the biggest challenges that you did face, and maybe for the listeners that are out there that are entrepreneurs and looking to grow their business, maybe even female entrepreneurs, maybe they can learn from you and from your experiences and how you were able to overcome those challenges.
For sure. So we are around for over 10 years at this point. And like you said, in the scheme of things, it's not that long, but as a business, we've already been through quite a few challenging times, but we never really look at them as challenges. We look at them as opportunities for growth. And we apply that same principle when it comes to design. anytime there's constraints or budgetary limitations, for example, or site conditions, we look at that as a way for us to be more innovative and to actually challenge ourselves in ways that we never thought possible. And that's when we really come up with the best possible solutions. So I would say the same is in business. We started the firm in Toronto and opened an office in New York, which I would say was a learning experience, whereas I grew up in Toronto. So I had that familial relationship with the people in my community, as well as the people I went to school with, and then moving to a new country and opening up another office was, you might call it a challenge, but for us, really helped us expand and grow exponentially. And then we opened another location in Florida right before COVID, which was also so interesting because that was the perfect time. Florida was very open during COVID, and there was that growth and so many people coming. So there was a lot of opportunities for us as a business. And during COVID, we really explored different ways to stay relevant as well as continue our work that is so impactful. So we looked at ways that businesses were getting affected. We looked at helping people stay safe while coming together, but also keeping those healthy distances. We came up with a few innovative charitable initiatives that we launched. And we really used that time to look at our processes, start our hybrid remote team. So like I said, a challenge for us is always a learning experience. And that brings to mind my first project as an interior designer was a residential home. And we designed the living room. We were so excited. Delivery day came. We have a sofa coming. And obviously we measured the space and picked all the fabrics and all the furniture pieces. And the sofa arrived and it did not fit through the front door. And we had not even thought of that. Here we are, so excited, and oh my God, what are we gonna do? So what we ended up doing was obviously taking responsibility for our mistake, because as designers, people are hiring us for our expertise. So number one, when making a mistake, we always know it's our responsibility. And number two, we found another sofa that could be taken apart and fit through the door. But what was so important was that we use this as a lesson. Anytime we're designing a space, not only is it important that it fits within the space, but that we make sure that it will be able to come through into the space. And right now we're working on a very large event space, and the ceilings are 18 feet high. There are partitions, interior partitions, to divide the space so that it can be used simultaneously at this, for different events, or one event that has different parts to it. And one of the things that I brought up with the design team was, how are we getting these partitions into the space? Once the elevators are in, it's not going to fit. So it's just interesting for us because every day we're learning new things. But as long as we take the knowledge that we learn, if we make a mistake, that's okay. But we just need to learn from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's life, right? Like we look at the challenges, the setbacks that we have, there are learning opportunities in the midst of that. And no matter what time, and I love when you were talking about opening up in Florida. I mean, talk about timing to open up in Florida just before COVID. New York shut down, Toronto shut down for the most part, right? And they were shut down for a long time. And so, there's a lesson in there about diversity in terms of not just having your eggs all in one basket either, right? Where you're stuck and you're like, I'm in this one narrow market, and if that market shuts down, what am I going to do? Talk a little bit about the virtual aspect of it, because you do have 3 locations, and maybe talk about like where you reside most of the time and how do you manage that team and keep everyone connected. And especially because your business is a very, in a way, hands-on, right? Where you're actually physically designing spaces together.
So that's when you mention diversity, for us, that is key. First of all, in our team, we have an incredible team and everyone is so different. There are so many different cultures, backgrounds, countries of origin. I myself am from Canada. We have people literally from all over the world. And I believe that everyone's backgrounds really impacts the way they approach anything. And it's been amazing for us to see the innovative solutions that our team comes up with, because we have different religions here, we have different climates, we have different ways of looking at things. And it's been so helpful for us and for our clients to be able to look at it from that way. But leading into that, we also have a super diverse portfolio of project types. And we believe that from every sector, we can learn something and bring it into another one. For example, during COVID, we worked on a string of urgent cares. And the way we approached the design and what our vision, together with the client's vision, was, let's make this into a hospitality-like experience. Why, when you're getting stitches, is it this anxiety-ridden experience? But when you get a massage or a facial, it's a luxury. So we took those aspects and brought it into the urgent care experience. And what was really incredible was seeing it come to light and people recognizing that. During the grand opening for the first location, there was ribbon cutting. So I went and they brought city officials, and I heard one of them turn to the other and say, I feel like I'm in a spa. And I literally walked over to him and said, did someone pay you to say that? That was our vision. That is exactly what we wanted to deliver for our client and for the patients who would be using that space. So we believe that diversity is super important, because we want our spaces to feel inclusive. We want everyone who's using them to be able to achieve their potential within the space in whatever realm that is. And we're super mindful of that when we're strategizing about what we want the space to look and feel like. And I always say a space is not just what it looks like, but it's also the experience that people have within it. So we're very thoughtful about the smells, the acoustics, really engaging all 5 senses, because that's when people have the best experience. And in terms of engaging the team, we're working on incredible, exciting projects, and everyone on our team is super passionate about what we do and making an impact, making a difference, and knowing that our designs really do that. So just by virtue of that, everyone's really engaged and everyone's really happy to be part of our team. And I am just so grateful that we have such an incredible team.
Yeah, that's great. And so do you, from a, I'm just thinking about like a practical, tactical standpoint, do you meet on a regular basis, weekly, to talk about the projects? And then everybody kind of goes away and does their thing and comes back. How do you manage that to keep everybody in the loop? And what's the kind of cadence to that?
Right. I'm remembering now that I forgot to answer your question about where I spend the most time. So I actually spend my time between our New York and Miami office. I do spend some time in Toronto. My parents live there still, so I love to go visit, and this is a great excuse. But in terms of our team collaborating, we work on a software that everyone works on together. And that really gives all the projects that cohesive process structure. And everyone's really able to check in and see what's going on throughout the team and what projects we're working on and what's going on. As well as we do have Tuesday TDG talks, where we talk about our week, we talk about our goals. We do have different meetings for the different departments. but we do try to meet regularly just to keep everyone engaged, let everyone know what we're working on, what's going on, hear people's feedback. And for us as a team, we really like to empower everyone. So whether you've been on the team for just a few months or for a lot longer than that, we want everyone's voice to be heard. And I always say that everyone has something to offer and there's value in everyone's opinion. So we want everyone to weigh in on the designs that we're working on the initiatives that we're undertaking. And so far, that's been really helping keeping everyone engaged. We also do have a TDG Star of the Week, which we started doing bi-weekly and then monthly, but it's about everyone anonymously voting for someone on the team that did something nice. So it's not even design related necessarily. When it's virtual, it's a little harder. So, but it's really just about people hearing something positive about themselves and that person gets an Amazon gift card. So we love that. We love spreading positivity. And it's really important in a team and within any group, any company, to really focus on the positive and to really empower people that way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now, you mentioned earlier, and maybe you can talk a little bit about that more, the social impact initiatives and how you came up with some creative ideas on what you can do. And I know you've like kind of got this furniture exchange or whatever. Maybe talk a little bit about that, some of the things that you do in terms of social impact, local in your community. Yeah, I know you've got a few things that you get involved in there.
So like you started, our motto is designing with purpose, creating a better world. And we believe that the designs that we're working on and the spaces that we're creating all make the world a better place. And from that, we use our firm as a platform to continue to make the world a better place and give back and do whatever we can when we see ways that we can make an impact and really do that. So one of the programs that we run is the TDG Insider. If someone is exploring a career in interior design or they're thinking about a second career or whatever it may be, they can fill out an application that's on our website and spend the day with our team. We've structured a schedule that they can do different tasks that our team does for them to get a taste of what it's like to be an interior designer in the commercial space. And not only that, but they also have the opportunity to be mentored by one of our lead designers. I remember when I was exploring interior design, I really had no one to ask my questions to. I remember the decorator that worked on our home, I had reached out to her, but it was residential design. And I really wanted to get into the commercial design space. So this was one way of my team and I giving back, giving people that opportunity to experience it, see if design is a good fit for them. So that's one of our initiatives. Another one is the TDG Furniture Exchange, like you mentioned. That idea actually came to me when I was moving and there wasn't enough space for some of my furniture based on the new layout that I had. And I was trying to figure out what can I do with my furniture. And I realized that, yes, there is Facebook Marketplace. Yes, there are places to give it to, but we figured that this was during COVID. This is a way that we could give back. So we started the TDG Furniture Exchange. Currently, we're operating in 9 locations. We just updated our website, so it's super easy to donate or request furniture. And it's been incredible seeing how one person's literal garbage, but it's not garbage, but for them, they no longer need it, can be someone else's treasure. And we've been able to help people who have been sick, people who are special needs, people who just can't afford to buy furniture right now. And it's been so rewarding to help people out. So that's another one, and we're really proud of the TDG Furniture Exchange, and we want to keep growing it. And our new website really has the capacity to take it to the next level, and we can take it worldwide because we really want it to function seamlessly. So that's what we're working on right now when it comes to the Furniture Exchange. And then we have our TDG Gives Back, where we pick a few charities or nonprofits throughout the year to get involved in, whether on a volunteer basis or to help with some design aspects. So right now we're working on a community center, and it's just about staying engaged with the community. We visit the skilled nursing facilities that we design every year before the new year, bring them flowers or chocolate, see how they're using the spaces that we design. So really just staying engaged with the community, giving back, and really just making the world a better place.
Yeah, I love that. And you know what? Sometimes we think of transformation and impact and making the world a better place as being this really complex thing. And what I love about what you're doing is it's simple, it's obvious, it's like right in front of you. And I think that most of us overcomplicate things. And if we could just keep it simple and saying, what can I do with what we have and what we're currently doing, and in the community that we're already in, how can we make an impact there? And those ideas come like right up, and it's like it's right in front of you. Right, it's right in front of you. So yeah,
that's how we came up with these ideas. It was all based on things that were going on, and we're like, hey, this is a great way for us to contribute.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, and we'll make sure that a link to your website is in the show notes on our website, so that, and of course your LinkedIn and everything, how they can connect with your company, but also with you personally and learn more about these things as well. Before we wrap up, I'd love for you to talk about, as a woman in leadership in the construction industry, what would you say to women that are looking and considering to get into the construction industry? What do they need to know, be aware of?
Women specifically can do anything that men can. So
Amen. I love that.
Passion for them, and they're interested in the construction industry where there's so many amazing parts of it, then go for it. And there should literally be nothing holding you back, specifically not your gender, for sure. And I do see, and I do believe that as time is going on, there's a lot more women in the industry, and I'm happy to help anyone who is unsure or wants some mentorship or guidance, because it's so easy to be a part of this industry and it's such a rewarding one.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for saying that, because I think sometimes we buy into this lie that we're somehow going to be disadvantaged, and that's not necessarily the case. Show up, be good at what you do, be great at what you do, and do what you love, right? And you'll get noticed, and you're a good example of that. So yeah, thank you, Blima. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I do believe as women, there are opportunities in the construction industry as well. We're an NWBE certified business, and there's specific opportunities available just by virtue of being a woman. So there's definitely opportunities there. I look at it as an advantage, not a disadvantage. And like you said, be great at what you do. That's really what counts. And that's what people are looking at, especially in the construction industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? For purpose-driven entrepreneurs that are out there and saying, I want to make the world a better place.
I always look at what's going on in the world and trying to see how, as designers, as women, we can make a difference. And with technology now, there is so much opportunity. And we've been exploring smart buildings, making them more sustainable, making them more energy efficient, as well as function better and more efficiently. And that's what I always look at when we're working on the design of a project or a space. We don't just want it to look good. Like I said, we want the experience to be good, but we also want it to function optimally. So even when our job is done, we want to make sure that we're giving clients the best experience. And that's really the way I look at everything that we do. And that's why I'm so excited about different initiatives that we're exploring now, because with technology, AI, there's so much we can do, and there's so much that we're doing already, as well as with technology, there's so many new things that we will be rolling out this year. And we're just so excited, and we're just so happy that and fortunate that we have these opportunities to make a difference and to make an impact. And just want to thank all our clients and friends and everyone for giving us those opportunities. And we hope to keep making a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Blima, thank you so much. And I love that you're just continuing to stay on the leading edge of it. And I think that sometimes, again, I look at the contrast. Sometimes we can be afraid of technology, AI. Some people are concerned about jobs that it's going to affect. And the reality is there's such an opportunity. So there's either the obstacle or the opportunity, whichever way you look at it. You'll be able to find either one if you look for it. So thank you for being such a great example. And I love the mentorship that you offer, the opportunity for people to be able to get into the industry, or to at least test the industry, test it out, whether or not they want to get in the industry. I think that's fantastic. And we need to do more of that, right? Where we can mentor others, and that our finished product can be their raw material, I think is so important. And we can accelerate our growth together. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to our listeners and viewers for being here. I hope that this has inspired you, encouraged you, that you can go out and be a leader of transformation in your respective area, no matter what it is. We haven't had an interior designer on this show yet. And so I wanted to make sure that we bring this message that, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, it's possible to make a difference. It's possible to create a better world through whatever it is that you're doing. And so I always say, leaders of transformation, take action on something that you learned here today, some inspiration, some ideas. How can you apply that to your industry? Just like Blima, being diverse in their projects that they work on. Look at some other arenas and say, hey, what are they doing over there that's working that we can apply to what we're doing here? And so that you can be innovative and creative and think outside the box. So we encourage you to do that. We'd love to hear your stories. You can go on leadersoftransformation.com. You can reach out to us there. You can also find us, of course, on social. You can find me on LinkedIn and all the other places as well. And we'd love to hear from you and continue to support you, along your journey to being a leader of transformation that makes the world a better place. And so thanks again for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next week on another episode of the Leaders of Transformation. Have a great day.